Wrestling fans to Graz in Austria for this, the first bout in the World Wrestling Tournament. A crowd of 20,000 European fans, and together we'll bring you some of the best wrestling in the world, and of course the world's best wrestlers. In the ring at the moment, Steve Wright of Nuremberg, and up against him in the traditional green of Ireland, Dave Finlay from Northern Ireland. Alongside me, Orrig Williams of the Wrestling Federation. Orrig, the atmosphere here is quite tremendous.
It really is tremendous, Nick, and I'm sure ahead of us we've got some of the best wrestlers in the world, as you said, and right before us right now, as you can see, Wonder Boy Steve Wright, as he used to be known in England, against Dave Finlay, the Belfast Bruiser.
Two of the best, marshalled carefully, we hope, by the Parisian referee Didier Gap. And to remind you, one fall and one submission will be enough to decide the winner here. It's a 5-round contest, 3 minutes per round. And the anticipation here has been, as you'd expect, two of the world's best. And we can expect dynamite.
And you can see here a traditional British hold, a toe and ankle hold by the very experienced Steve Wright. Steve Wright is responsible for bringing in Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid, who were the World Tag Team Champions for the WWF, called the British Bulldogs. Tremendous wrestlers, and this Steve Wright is the same fella as Wonder Boy Wright, who taught them both.
Finlay slows down the pace. It's been a better start for Steve Wright. But Finlay has come here full of confidence, expecting to leave his mark amongst the world's best.
I'd say here, Nick, if I may, that in my opinion, Finlay is the world's best. I've never seen this guy have a bad match at all. He's always full of activity, full of new ideas, a tremendous wrestler. His father is the well-known amateur trainer from Carrickfergus in Northern Ireland. Again, Dave Finlay. He trains the Irish Olympic team.
Stevens at the moment. One fall, one submission will be enough.
Notice that tremendous amateur hype from Wright then. This lad did an awful lot of amateur wrestling back in Warrington before he turned professional.
There we saw the first effort. The first attempt at a hold, but Didier Gap showed quite clearly the count reached 2 and no further. The crowd's sympathy clearly with Steve Wright, as you'd expect. And they react to everything he does. And the count starts. The whistle blows, and as the crowd chant the count, Finlay was back and back quickly.
I'd like to point out to the listeners here, Nick, that in Germany the referee uses a whistle as opposed to public warnings in Britain. And in my opinion, the whistle is far more effective as the entire crowd can hear it, whereas very, very often they cannot hear a public warning.
Finlay certainly responded as we draw towards the end of the first round. And not unexpectedly, they both continue. It's been a tigerish opening round.
I was a bit surprised there to see Steve Wright reacting after the bell. But I suppose when you're wrestling Finlay, anything goes, because believe me, Nick, anything goes for this guy.
He certainly aimed a blow at Wright after the first round had been ended. Finlay paces up and down. He wants to get on with the fight. A possible 5 rounds ahead of us, just one fought.
And I'd like to point out to you here that unlike boxing contests, the wrestlers continue to walk around the ring in the interval. They don't sit down like boxers, and this is due entirely to the fact that they are far fitter than boxers.
Second round of 5. No falls, no submissions. On the left in the green, Dave Finlay. Waiting expectantly, and it has to be said quite confidently, Steve Wright. But the brighter start has certainly come from Steve Wright. Just look at the emotion on Finlay's face. There's no margin for error. One submission and all is lost. And not for the first time, he seeks solace on the ropes.
As you say, Nick, this guy Wright has had a tremendous start here, and again I must point out that if there is anybody in the world that can beat Finlay, then it is Steve Wright. Notice this toe and ankle hold again. Tremendous pressure on your ankle. Finlay reaching for the ropes, knowing he can't get out of it.
Not for the first time, to the displeasure of the crowd here. Finlay escapes on the ropes. And it's an indication of the might of Steve Wright that Finlay has to resort to that. Normally dominant, normally a powerhouse, totally in charge as he seems to be now.
Notice those elbows going in. He came back into the fight with a tremendous right elbow right to Wright's jaw. That sent him reeling and continued on, raining elbows to Wright's head.
He pleads his innocence and continues in the same vein. But a better round for Finlay. And for the first time, Wright seems to be suffering a certain amount of discomfort. We're well into the last minute of the second round, and it might be a case of hanging out for Wright now.
As you noticed, Finlay's favourite move in that round was elbows, and he's probably the best elbower in the entire world. That is his favourite move, an elbow to your head, and believe me, there's some power behind it.
Out he goes. The referee, well, he's urged to start the count. But Wright is allowed back in, or should be. An uncomfortable round for Steve Wright. A round which he'll be glad to see the end of, and he comes back in style. But look at the power of Finlay. He stood firm as a rock, and as the second round ended, Finlay shows that the strength is still there.
That was a tremendous double-leg Nelson from Steve Wright, from right outside the ring. He leapt over the rope and very, very nearly pinned Finlay, but Finlay was too strong, not ready for a double-leg Nelson yet, and he powered his way out of it.
Again, Finlay anxious to continue. He knows he has the upper hand now after that second round. Steve Wright has 20 seconds or so, and he should take that time, not to argue with Didier Gap, but to settle himself down for the third round. All still very level, and the crowd expects and waits.
Might I point out that this is a very, very knowledgeable crowd. 20,000 of them all Austrians, all very, very knowledgeable. This is the most popular sport in Austria, and it's tremendously backed. Wherever the wrestling goes in Austria, you can be guaranteed of houseful sounds.
Good high kick from Finlay. Again, he urges Didier Gap to start the count straight away, and this time he responds. The second charge with the knee. Wright takes a long count, but look at the strength there. That's the experience of the man. He took a long count, regained his strength, and it paid off as he stood firm there.
Wright was obviously waiting for the knee drop. He is also a very experienced wrestler.
And Finlay falls for an old trick. Wright had seen that coming. And the front row saw Finlay coming. Again, a word of warning for Steve Wright. Finlay must be allowed the opportunity of coming back into the ring.
Steve Wright is obviously appealing to the referee for a lot of things, but he knows that when he's fighting a man like Finlay, you just get on with the job. It's useless trying to argue and point things out to the referee. The referee is an excellent one from Paris, Didier Gap. He knows what he's doing, and I would suggest that Wright should concentrate on wrestling far more than appealing to the referee all the time.
Good slam from Finlay. Still no falls or submission, remember, and just the one will be enough. It's been an even contest, but having started the better man.
Oh, there's a small package there. Right out the blue, Steve Wright uses a small package. Has he got Finlay? No.
Finlay touched the ropes, I think, Orig. And the count on 2 was ended with a quick move by Steve Wright.
Yeah, he's very, very quick. You never know when you've got him. That was one right out the blue, called a small package, and it surprises most wrestlers, but Finlay was aware, and he claimed the round.
And Wright has certainly gained confidence from that last move. He's had some uncomfortable moments. But back he comes, and we have quite a contest here.
And a tremendous elbow, a couple of tremendous elbows there from Steve Wright, who is a good elbower in his own right.
The crowd save Wright, goes for the cross-press hold, and again the count, I think, reaches 2 and no further.
Wright very cleverly then nearly tricked Finlay, turned his back on Finlay, but as Finlay was coming, he was ready for him and very, very nearly pinned him.
The crowd certainly with him. And again, Finlay reaches for the ropes.
Wright went for an amateur takedown there, but Finlay shushed it straight away and went for the ropes. Wright is using a lot of his amateur moves here and is wrestling far, far better than I expected.
Well, Didier Gap is blowing like a madman at the moment. And although you may have some sympathy with Finlay, that was a quick, intelligent bit of thinking by Wright. Certainly, as another round ends, it would take a brave man, Orig, to tip the winner.
It would indeed. Would you notice the amount of women there are in the front row? When Finlay went out there, we really noticed about 50 or 60 ladies in the front row. This is very, very common, as the whole family are taken to wrestling matches here in Graz. There's no hooliganism, and it's a tremendous sport for the whole family.
Again, they both pace up and down. And they, as eager as the crowd, await for the 4th round. And Finlay first to fire.
Yeah, some big bombs going in there. Tremendous blows hailing down on Wright. But fair play, the fella's fighting back with all his might.
Finlay takes a slam. The crowd again urging Wright to see what's coming, making him aware of the danger. But Wright has been hurt. He was slow to respond.
A tremendous knee drop from Finlay from the second row. Wright is reeling badly. Another one there, and Wright looks in trouble here. Can he recover? The Belfast man is raining his biggest bombs on him yet.
It's a flying tackle, but Wright turns that to his own advantage, and the count again reaches 2. And somehow Wright finds strength. And after seemingly being in total control, Finlay is again under pressure. But this, I wonder, could be the round to end it.
Watch this. If he pile drives in here, he's in trouble.
He's taking his time about it.
He's switching it.
He's taken too long about it. Wright to switch the move. And Wright goes for the pile driver.
Oh, a tremendous move, a tremendous move. 3, yes, it's there, tremendous move. I can't believe it. Steve Wright has beaten him, and he can't believe it.